Been doing a really targeted rewatch of Stranger Things right now, specifically looking for like little details I may have missed in times before and like picking up character moments and places where I can kind of insert headcanons and derive things like that. And it's already been really fun. I've picked up some really fun stuff in general that I hadn't noticed before, and I've also like found some specific fun stuff to do with Steve and Eddie. With Steve, it's been really fun to pick up on just how kind of like tightly wound and a little bit neurotic he is. Like in season 3, when they're walking through the Russian base for the first time, he kind of mutters under his breath that like these hallways are a fire hazard. And like later when they're about to inject him with a drug, he just says like, this needle better be sanitary or something like that. And I think that's a really fun character trait to really like focus on in him. And another thing I've noticed with him that's really interesting is just how bad his posture is. I think Steve as a character type is one that you would sort of expect to sort of be like very like broad-shouldered, like straight upright, like very like jock presenting. But the way that he kind of more naturally stands, because he does kind of lean into that posture sometimes, is much more hunched over. And I think that that's kind of an interesting character trait as well, and also just kind of like a fun physicality thing to notice. Like you can see it super well here, but it's also just kind of once you start noticing it, most of the time he's kind of just sort of hunched over and kind of crouched down. You can actually even see it like in this picture here, like the way that he's standing. And I think it would be really fun to imagine him sort of appearing therefore like kind of shorter than he is, although that I guess gets compensated back for with the hair and everything. But I can just imagine him at certain points straightening up to his full size and like taking up that space, and that being like a really interesting moment for the people around him. I think he would do that to Eddie. I think he would pull his height with Eddie, and it would be very funny and a little bit like, for Eddie. But anyway, with Eddie, also, one of the things I've been trying to do is pay attention to places where I think that he would be showing up on the margins of what we see of the first 3 seasons. And my favorites so far are in season 1 when Nancy's on the phone with Barb's mom. There's a poster for a battle of the bands on the payphone that she's using, and I think Eddie was definitely at that. And then in season 3, when Robin is first talking about Miss Click's class, she says that they called her Clickety Clack, and I feel like that nickname definitely came from Eddie. But Eddie also has some weird physicality stuff I wanted to highlight. You can see here, the way he places his feet is kind of odd to me, and you can see it really well here as well. I think it seems to me like he doesn't really walk heel to toe. He kind of places his whole foot down like at the same time. And I don't know if that's maybe a function of like the way that that shoe feels on your foot, like that style of shoe, but I just thought it was kind of just an interesting thing to like observe about the way that he kind of moves through space. But yeah, I'm enjoying like paying attention to these little things, and I'm super curious if other people have like noticed other little details I should look out for.